So we're looking at a few examples in financial mathematics at grade 11 level. In this particular example, we have that Jane borrows 120,000 Rand from a bank. She pays back in a lump sum. She pays back after 3 years, okay? And it says if simple interest at 15% per annum is charged, how much does she pay back? Okay, we know the formula for simple interest is that the accumulated amount is the principal amount multiplied by 1 plus IN in brackets, okay? We just have to identify the parameters. So the principal amount is what she borrows, ne? It's this amount, 120,000 Rand. That's our P. The period, N, is 3 years. So we have N is 3. And we also have that the interest is 15%. And we said that 15% means 15 divided by 100. And that makes it 0.15, okay? We can now do our substitution so that we work out how much Jane will have to pay back. And we simply do 120,000 multiplied by 1 plus 0.15 multiplied by our N, which is 3. Okay? Now, just avoiding the calculator a little bit, we can work this out too. What is 0.15 multiplied by 3? Well, we just take the 15 here, multiply it by 3. So that's going to be a 45. So it's 0.45. So we have 1.45. Okay. And we multiply that by 120. Okay. Let's take that to the calculator. 120,000 multiplied by 1.45, and we have 174. So she'll have to pay back 174,000 Rand. And we see that the interest charged will amount to basically 174,000 less the principal amount. This is A. And then we're subtracting from it P, which was 120,000. So we have 50. Yes, that's going to be 54,000. Okay. So that is how you solve a simple interest problem. We just had to identify what our principal amount was, P, which was 120, and work out the interest, and that is a 0.15, and it's charged annually, and it's a period of 3 years, okay? And the answer was 174,000 Rand, and we realized that the interest on that amount is 54,000 Rand. Okay, let's move on to the next example. So in this, our second example, we have that a certain individual by the name of John invests 70,000 Rand at 11% per annum, compounded annually. So the interest is compounded every year, once a year, at the end of the year. How much does he withdraw after 7 years when the investment matures? This is a compound interest problem, and we know the formula for compound interest is A, P, 1 plus I to the exponent N, where N is our period, okay? So the P is 70,000. That's our 70,000 Rand, and we have 1 plus. Remember, with the 11%, we have to take it to decimal, okay? When you take 11%. 11% is this, is 11 out of 100. When you take it to decimal, you get 0.11. So we have 0.11 there. And what is our period? 7 years, okay? The rest is calculator work. So this is basically 70,000 Rand multiplied by 1.11 to the exponent 7. Okay? Punch this into your calculator. See that you know how to punch it in right. And compare answers with what I get. So the amount that I get when I work that out on the calculator is 145,331. 145,331.21. Okay. And that is how much John will get on his investment. Again, if you want to work out how much interest he made, it is the 11% of 70,000 accumulated over 7 years. So what this means basically is that in the first year, if we were to talk a little bit more in detail on how compound interest works, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So in the first year, he's gonna get 11% of 70,000. So that is 70,000. And we want 11% of that in a year. Let's see what this works out to. If compounded over a year, and that will be 1.11 multiplied by 70,000. That gives us 777,000. Now this goes into the second year. So that amount, 777,000, is what will be earning interest for John in the second year, okay? So going into the second year, John starts off with that 77,000. This is 70,000. Okay, I have one extra zero. Let me just take that zero out. I shouldn't have that zero there. That should only be 1 0. Yes, 2 zeros in total. So going into the second year, John has got 77,700. And how much does that earn in interest? It earns the same amount, 11%. And we have that in that second year, John will be sitting on 8,647. Okay. Now that is the amount that John starts off the third year with. And this is 8,647. And we multiply it again by 1.11. What do we get? And we get 95,734.17. Okay. Starting the fourth year, John has got 95,734.17, and he gains the same interest on it, and we get a total amount of 106,264.93. So that is what he's gonna start off the fifth year with. and we have there 106264.93, and we're multiplying it by 1.11. What do we get in that case? And we get 117,154.07. Okay, going into the 6th year, he's got 100 and, okay, let's get that corrected. And I didn't update the amount. Let's correct that. Take that out, and the amount we actually start the 6th year off with is 117,954.07, and we do that 11% on it, getting 130,929.02. Okay, so that is what we start the 7th year off with. 130,92,9.02. We multiply that by 1.11, and what do we get in that case? We get 145. Okay, 145,331.21. Let me circle these so that they're clear from the amounts and there's no confusion. And so this is how compound interest works. So the period is 7 years, and we are compounding once a year. So we're compounding at the end of the year once a year. So each successive year is started with the compounded amount from the previous year. So you see how it benefits you to have compound interest over simple interest, say. So yes, that's basically the story. The terms, the number of terms, the 7 terms in the 7 years, once every year of the 7 years, and that's how we end up with 145,000. This is me just trying to make a breakdown of showing you what this here calculation actually does and why it ends up at 145,000. Okay. So in example number 3, we have that Letabo borrows 55,700. She pays back after 10 years, okay, in one amount. The interest charged is 12.5% per annum, and it's simple interest. How much does she pay? We go again to our simple interest formula, AP 1 plus IN, okay? From here, you must identify what is P. We said P is our principal amount. This is the initial amount. So what she borrowed initially was that amount, okay? The amount was 55,700 Rand. We have 1 plus, and we see that the interest is 12.5%. That means 12.5 divided by 100. That's what percent means, okay? It means 12.5 out of 100. So we turn this to decimal because this is in percentile, okay? We turn it to decimal and we get 0.125 as our decimal for interest. So this is 0.125, and we multiply it by the number of years, n. N is our period, okay? And we have it at 10 years. Now this is 55,700 multiplied by 1 plus. How do you multiply 0.125 by 10, you just shift it. You just shift the decimal, okay? So from 0.125, it turns to 1 point. Sorry, it's actually 12.5. 12.5. Oh no, the decimal is here. You move it once, so it's 1.25, correct. 1.25. And we go to the calculator, see what this works out to. We could write one more step. This is 55,700 multiplied by 2.25. Let's go to the calculator and see what this works out to. And I get that this works out to 125,325. Okay, 125 rand, 125,325 rand. That is how much she Letabo will have to pay back if she borrows 55,700 for 10 years, which is charged at 12% per annum, and we are using simple interest. Okay, again, if you wanted to see how much total interest she's paying, you would just take your A, the accumulated amount, and you subtract what is the initial amount, the principal. Okay, so we see that our A is 125,325, and we're doing less 55,700. Okay, what will that come to? 55,700, and it's 69625. So that is the total interest charged. Okay, over that period of 10 years. That is how much interest would be charged on the amount. So it's 69,625.